Okay, hi Rick. Um, I'm going to just walk through this. I just had to get a third cup of coffee. I thought that might help me with the narration today. And if coffee kills me, I'll die happy. So I'm going to show you how to do this just from my home Blackboard screen. We'll start here. So I'm going to click in the course I'm doing this summer. And this takes me to the home page of the class. And I'm going to go down here to Course Tools and Blackboard Collaborate right there. All right, so down here we want to, or up here rather, we want to create a session, and this creates a virtual classroom. So we click there, and then you give it some name. We'll call this one example. And the start time has to be sometime, you can't make it before the current time on the clock. It's got to be a little bit after. So you see this one's got a little bit after right now, and normally I set this for 24 hours after the virtual session ends, just to be sure that our session doesn't end in the middle. Or you can make it however long you want to make it. We'll make this one until the end of June. And so however you want to do that. And we'll say done. So now we have the date set up for when we want the live session to, or we want the virtual classroom to be open. Students can get into the session 30 minutes early. Here we have session type, and we want it just for the course, not shared with other people. Students can call into the class, but I have never really used this. If they're in a remote location where they can't get to it, and I'm really not sure how that works, I'm sorry. Room attributes, I normally just enable 6 cameras, which is the maximum, so everybody can have a webcam that's in the session. And then simultaneous talkers, I normally move to 6 as well. That means 6 people can have their microphone turned on, and after that, no one else can. By the way, this application does not have the nice noise canceling features of Skype. And so the students need to wear a headset or earbuds, not external speakers, because external speakers will cause feedback, which means that all of your audio will be unintelligible. So I always instruct them up front to put earbuds in and turn their microphones off when they aren't talking. Recording mode, I normally turn that to manual, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. You can also set it for automatic, but I don't recommend that. It's a good idea to turn on private messages to be sure your class is behaving themselves, because they can send text messages to each other while you're doing the audio portion of the live chat. And I tell them that to be sure they're not being nasty with each other through private messages. There's some other things down here. I normally don't hide names in recordings, because if I go back to a recording to do attendance, I want to be sure who was there if I need to proof that somehow. And then grade center integration, you can set that up and turn it on, put the number of points per session. We'll set this, I don't know, 5 points or whatever you want to do, and then it will enter their attendance in the grade sheet, and you can see who was there, so it's kind of an automatic attendance thing. For assigning roles, if you want students to present something, you can set them all as moderators, and they'll have the same controls you do. I normally have them all join as participants. So let's save that. Okay, you see here it says session must be scheduled in the future. I waited too long for that one, so let's move the time up a little bit here to 3:45. And now we'll save that again, and it should be happy. Okay, so we got our session now. And to make it simple for students, I normally add it to however I have the course organized, and this one is organized by class session. So if we go into assignments, I'll just click on this one because this is already passed, and so I won't interfere with anything in the class. So I clicked into the folder, and so you can see here we've already added Andre Parker's actually teaching this class, and I'm monitoring him doing that, but he's got the recording here of a session that he did earlier with the class, and then the session itself. You see this one was set for May 26th from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. So we'll go in here to build, tools. Then go down to Blackboard Collaborate under Tools. Go to the example session we just set, and there's a little pull down arrow here right next to it. Go to Add Link. And we want to go down to the assignment folder where we just were, May 25 through 30. Hit Save. And now the link should be in that assignment folder. All right, there it is down at the bottom. And for this to work, you have to have the most recent version of Java on your computer. And I recommend that students ensure that they have that before they start trying to use Blackboard Collaborate. So let's click on our session here. And I didn't set it for, okay, I screwed that up. Well, maybe you'll learn something from what I screwed up. So I set the entry time for 30 minutes early, and I set it for an hour from now, so it's not letting me in. So let's go back to Blackboard Collaborate, and we'll edit the session so we can get into it. So we'll make it 1 hour, and then it should work. All right. Let's go back to the assignments now that we fixed it and see if we can get into it now. All right. Now it should show us launch room now that I fixed it. And this is where the Java comes in. This runs on a Java platform, so there's nothing students have to download on their computer like you would with Skype. So it says open with Java, so we'll just say okay. And you see Java is launching there. This will take just a minute for it to do its thing. Then it'll ask us a few questions about is this software safe and that kind of thing. So we'll wait for those messages to pop up. Maybe. Well, there it is. Okay. So it's verifying the application now. And this is part of the security stuff they put on our computers at Wayland. Do you want to run this application? I'm going to say run. And it'll also ask me at some point what kind of connection I have. So we'll just wait here. I'd tell you a joke, but I can't think of any. There it comes. You can see it's launching now. And sometimes students get impatient if they have a slow connection or if there's a lot of traffic on their cable access. It might take longer. So they just need to be patient. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 minutes for this to launch, but it happened really fast now. We're going to say allow access. All right, now it's going to ask me if I want to start the recorder. Normally, I'll chat with the students a little bit to see if they want to talk about, whatever, catch up with them. Then when the actual official session starts, I'll hit the record button. And so we'll hit start there. And you see it says recording started. Okay, so the important things here. One is talk button. Let's do video first. Hello, how are you? I shaved my head this morning. That's my camera thing popping up. So this is how the video works, and everybody turns theirs on using the video button. And I turn this on, you can see the bouncing thing right there. That tells me that I have audio. You need to remind students that when they have their webcams on, we can see everything in the room. We can see things posted on the wall behind them. And they need to make everyone aware that's going to be in the room, walking within camera range, that their camera is on. We got flashed by a guy's wife one night who did not realize the camera was on and walked behind him scantily clad, and she was not happy. And other people scream at their kids, so be sure to tell them to turn their microphones off when they aren't talking. And to turn it off, we just click it again, and it goes off. Now, what happens is when there's more than one person in the session, the video camera, whoever's talking's picture becomes the largest here. Let me go ahead and maximize this on the screen. And in order to let people talk, you have to do that. And that, when you click those, that enables their cameras and microphones. Now let's say you're going along in the class and somebody starts screaming curse words at their kids. You can go over to this button and click it, and that disables their microphone. And if they decide to flash the flash, you can click here and disable their camera. So each person will have an entry on the screen like this. And up here, this button indicates that we are recording. If you have a PowerPoint presentation you want to upload for a session, go to Load Content. And I'll just go to a session I've done in the past. Maybe. And let's go to, there we go, let's go to live chat 1 from 5116. The PowerPoint's doing its little converter thing. And you can see it's going to pop up my session on the screen. Okay. Now I'm going to close this box. I suppose you could use that. This just gives the students a little welcome screen. This is what they'll see on their screen. And as you advance the slides, they will see the slides advanced as well. And so you can just advance through the slides here. I'm sure that your presentation on worship is much more sophisticated than mine, since this is kind of your field. And so anyway. So that's the way it works. And a really useful tool, I've almost given up on Blackboard Collaborate until they came out with this tool in an upgrade. Up here, if you go to Tools, you'll see it says Breakout Rooms. So let's say I want the class to have a small group discussion. I'll say, okay, I want you to talk about your experiences in worship in the past week. And so I'm going to create breakout rooms. And depending on the number of students in the class, these are normally small classes, so I'll do 2, distribute participants evenly, and then I click create, and I tell them, okay, I'm going to put you in a virtual small group. I click create, and there's no students in this class right now, but you can see there's room 1 and room 2. And in those small groups, although this screen disappears, they can all turn on their webcams and microphones and talk to each other. It's just a smaller group. They're less prone to be microphone shy, and I don't become a talking head. So a lot of my sessions are in breakout rooms. Now another cool feature about this is I can go back to Tools, go to Breakout Rooms, and it says send self to a breakout room. So I can send myself to room 1, and I pop into the room. You can see the screen disappear. So if you're going to ask a question or something, give them time to write that down before you put them into a breakout room. I can come in here, turn my webcam on, turn my microphone on, and check on the group and see how they're doing. It's just like walking around a classroom. And then I can send myself to room 2. And turn my video camera on again, turn my microphone on, check on this group, see how they're doing. Then after I've checked on them, I can go back and go back to the main room where, while they're in session, I'm by myself. One of the things that I've found that works really well is if I go down here to timer and say start timer, and let's say I'm going to give them, I don't know, 15 minutes for their conversation. I'll say start, and at the top of the screen, they'll have this timer. So let's go back to room 1 now, and I'll show you how this looks for them. I go back to room 1, and remember when you go into the room, turn your video camera and microphone on. And they can see this timer up at the top. It tells them how minutes they have time left in their small group. The reason this is important is that in a live classroom, you can just, face-to-face classroom, you can just tell students, okay, you've got, you need to finish up your conversations. I want to come back. We're going to talk about this concept as a class now. You don't have that capability here. But if you put the timer up here, they can see when they need to finish up their conversations. And you can give them a little notification tone when it's done. And you can even hit, if you want, for some reason you want to bring them all back together, you can hit stop, and then come up here, go to breakout rooms. You want to return everyone to the main room. Now they're all back together so you can have a conversation with everyone. So you can move students around. You can also, let's say you move students back and you want them to go back to the rooms they were in to begin with. When you go to create breakout rooms, you can where is it? I'm sorry. Allow participants to move themselves to breakout rooms. So they can move themselves back to the same room they were in to begin with. Otherwise, it can randomly assign students to groups. Now, let's say the session is over with, and I decide I want to turn the recorder off. I click that.
Recording stopped.
It stops the recording. And session recordings take maybe a couple of hours to process. So normally I do my live chats from 9 to 10 in the evening, or 10 to 11 in the evening, Central Time, because that way we can get East Coast all the way to Hawaii at after work hours. And students in Texas have actually asked for a later time because normally their church or work meetings are over with and their house is quiet, and it's a good time to have an hour-long conversation. I really try to keep the sessions to 1 hour and respect their time. If I have prep things I want them to work on or questions I want them to consider, I normally give them those before the class starts so that when they come, we're ready to do discussion for an hour. So really this is really presenting some content, but mostly guided discussion. And, and that's because nobody wants to listen to a talking head for an hour. Okay, I'm going to close this out. And it's going to ask me if I really want to leave the session. I'm going to say yes. Oh, a few more things. I'm sorry, I forgot to show you. Students have emoticons, so if they want to show, they don't want to speak, but they want to say that they're laughing out loud, that appears next to their name, see where that pops up there. If applause, confusion, approval, disapproval. If they have to step away from their computer for some reason because they're at home, they may have issues with kids or whatever, they can click here, and that shows they are away from their computer. They want to raise their hand if they have a question while you're talking, they can click that, and you can see it pops up there. And you can see they have their hand raised. It also shows you the order in which they raise their hands. And they click it again, and that goes away. If you have a yes/no question, they don't have to activate their microphones to tell you that. Have you read your assignment for the week, for instance? Sometimes I ask them that. All they have to do is go here, click yes. You can see the green check appears there next to their name. That tells me that they have read the assignment or whatever question I want to ask, or no. That's the red X means no. They can also send me text messages down here. I type in hi, and for some reason this is really small. If you increase the font size, obviously much will happen here. You can actually see it only a lot bigger. Anyway, but this, you can just barely see hi down there. Keep doing it. This is kind of fun. Whee! Okay, so I'll increase this eventually so it's big enough to actually see. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I can also see private messages I send to each other here because we set that earlier when we set up the session. You remember that. All right, now let's leave the session. Okay. All right, now we're back to the main screen, and I hope that helps. One more thing, I want to go into assignments here. And Andre has already recorded a session in the first week of this class. So I'll just show you that first recording. And you see he's marked it recording here. I normally delete the live chat session just so they don't get confused after it's over with and just leave the recording there. So we're going to launch the recording. Okay, it's expired, never mind. Let's go to a more recent one. Let's see if this one's posted. And it's not. Okay. Well, let's see if this one posted. Okay, for some reason those aren't there. I'm going to go back to one of my courses so you can actually see what a recording looks like. It basically launches and plays just like a video, and it looks just like it does in the session we were just in. So, hi Heather. Heather just came in. I'm making a video for Rick. All right, here's one from the class I just closed out. And we'll go to the last session. That's where I had them do a course evaluation. And I did not record that one. Okay. I'm not doing very well here, Rick. Okay, I know I recorded this one. No. Okay, well, this is live. I should probably edit this. Okay, here's a session recording. And hopefully this one will be available. And it's launching it now. The nice thing about recordings is if they can't be there for some reason, they can always go back and look at the recording, and I allow them to submit a one-page, half to one-page summary of what happened in the session to verify that they actually listened to it, and then also they can submit a response to the questions. And there we go.
Things like this makes me wonder if people are even monitoring the course schedule. But anyway, we have some things to talk.
Well, there it is, and you can see it records video and everything. So I hope this helps. Students certainly like it, And anyway, if you have any questions, let me know.